What's going on, guys? Dino here with Frag Styles. Today we want to talk about 10 popular designer fragrances and cheaper alternatives that are available. And welcome back. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. We're nearing the end of summer and fall is right around the corner. So today I want to talk to you about 10 designer fragrances and cheaper alternative, be it clone, well, most of them are clones, or just cheaper designer alternatives to more expensive or less affordable fragrances. We're going to start things off with the pairing of Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé and Sincerity Pour Homme by Dior. Now, Gentleman Reserve Privé is a oriental vanilla fragrance that was launched in 2022. It features top notes of bergamot, middle notes of iris and chestnut on a base of whiskey, woods and amber. So this is a very boozy, sweet, easy to wear fragrance, very enjoyable, primarily targeted to colder weather. And this one has had nothing but positive reviews in the fragrance community. It has great longevity, great projection at a reasonable price. But if you can't afford the almost $100 price tag at discounters, then the alternative that I chose to go with is Sincerity Pour Homme from Dior. This has the same notes, but focuses a little bit more on that lipsticky iris. It smells about 90% identical, but where the Givenchy fragrance outshines it is in the boozy base. The whiskey note is more noticeable in the Givenchy fragrance, whereas here it takes a step back to the iris. Still a great alternative and the one that I chose to go with. It's not that popular or easy to find online, but if you can get your hands on this for under $30, that's a great buy. So starting at number 10, Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé and its backup, Sincerity Pour Homme from Dior. I like doing videos like this. It's kind of like you have a starting quarterback and a backup that sits on the bench. That's how I view my fragrances. I like buying the original when I can afford it. Having a cheaper alternative to go with on days when I don't feel like using the original. It also helps with saving money. Instead of buying 2 bottles of the original or buying a larger amount, you just buy the original and use the cheaper version as a backup. At number 9, we have the pairing of Prada L'homme and Riffs Avant Garde. Now, Prada L'homme is a powdery iris fragrance. It's fresh, warm, spicy, aromatic. A very versatile fragrance that's great for warm or cooler weather. It's not going to be a great option for colder weather, but still something you can wear year-round. It's another one of those fragrances that I really enjoy. Again, another one with great longevity, great projection. And the same stands true for Riffs Avant Garde. Again, Riffs Avant Garde has the same note breakdown as Prada L'homme, lasts just as long, projects just as well, and this is one of, if not the absolute best alternative to Prada L'homme that's available today. It's readily available at discounters for around $30, and another one again that gives you great value for money. So when I don't feel like wearing Prada L'homme, I wear Riffs Avant Garde. So starting at number 9, Prada L'homme, and the backup, Riffs Avant Garde. Next we have, starting at number 8, the pairing of Valentino Born in Roma, Coral Fantasy, and the backup, Jasoor by Lattafa. Coral Fantasy was launched in 2022, and it's a fruity, warm, spicy, aromatic tobacco fragrance from the house of Valentino. It features top notes of apple, cardamom, Calabrian bergamot, middle notes of lavender, bourbon geranium, clary sage on a base of tobacco leaf, patchouli, and Haitian vetiver. This is one of the most unique and most loved fragrances in my collection. The sweetness in the opening from the apple and then the dry down with that tobacco underneath. It's an absolute joy to experience when wearing. Again, another one that's very dynamic, so it changes throughout the life of the fragrance. It's not linear at all, where you're just left with a fresh, sweet opening. It transitions into this nice, dry, masculine base with tobacco, patchouli, and vetiver. Absolutely beautiful. And then its backup, Jasoor from Lattafa. It has the exact same note breakdown. The only issue that I have with this one is it's a little bit lighter than the Valentino fragrance. Lasts just as long, but you have to sniff it to know it's there. It's not beast mode, but it doesn't leave you hanging either. It's a fantastic alternative to Coral Fantasy. So in spot number 8 is the pairing of Born in Roma Coral Fantasy and Jasoor by Lattafa. Starting in the number 7 spot, we have the pairing of Stronger With You Absolutely by Emporio Armani and Proud of You Absolute by Fragrance World. And as you can see, they copied it down to the presentation. The fragrance itself is practically identical to the original. There is some degree of harshness in the opening of Proud of You Absolutely, but once it settles down, it gets so close to Stronger With You Absolutely. It's really hard to tell the difference between these once you get past that opening or initial 3 to 5 minutes of spraying it on. And again, both fragrances have the same note breakdown. Top notes of rum, elemi resin, bergamot, middle notes of lavender and davana, base note of Madagascar vanilla, chestnut, cedar and patchouli. From presentation to the scent profile to the actual performance, there is not much to differentiate between these two. And I'm very happy that I have Proud of You Absolute, because you can trust Emporio Armani to continue producing these bottles. You could be searching for this one day and it's discontinued, so I'm happy that I have the Proud of You to offset my usage of Stronger With You. Starting in the number 6 spot, we have the pairing of Ombré Leather by Tom Ford and Rare Carbon by Afnan. So Ombré Leather was launched in 2018. It's an animalic leather fragrance that's warm, spicy and smoky. It features top notes of cardamom, middle notes of leather, jasmine, and base notes of amber, moss and patchouli. As far as smooth leather fragrances go, it doesn't get much better than this. Wow man, this stuff is so intoxicating. Absolutely love this. It's not overpowering, it's just so easy to wear. Leather fragrances can be intimidating, but this one I think is very smooth. I think guys of any age can pull this off. It's just that elegant and that easy to use. And Afnan Rare Carbon is the same exact thing. This thing is almost identical to the Tom Ford. The scent profile, the performance, the overall wearability of the fragrance, absolutely spot on. So the note breakdown varies slightly, but the main notes from the Tom Ford are all in here and they smell identical. And again, it's kind of like running a football team where your starting quarterback will run you $140 and your backup will run you $29. So it's your choice, but whichever you choose, you can't go wrong. They smell the exact same. Here you'll have the OG and here your bank account will thank you. Let's keep it moving. Starting at number 5 is the pair of Tom Ford Noir Extreme and Odyssey Home by Armaf. Noir Extreme was launched in 2015. It's a warm, spicy, sweet vanilla fragrance. It features top notes of cardamom, nutmeg, saffron, mandarin orange and neroli, middle notes of kulfi, rose, orange blossom, jasmine, on a base of vanilla, amber and sandalwood. This right here is the definition of sexy. When I wear this out, I am dressed up black on black on black and just ready for whatever comes my way. It's a very confidence-inspiring fragrance. You don't just wear this with anything. You have to match the sexy of this fragrance. It commands attention wherever you go. People will notice, people will ask you what you're wearing. It's great for date night, great for evenings out, simply delicious. The backup, Odyssey Home by Armaf, is also a warm, spicy vanilla fragrance, but with some iris. And it's just another one of those things where they've absolutely knocked this out of the park. The backup is a little bit fruitier, a little bit sweeter than the Tom Ford, but the richness and depth that's in here is unmatched. They're both awesome performers with 8+ hours of longevity, great projection, big time compliment factor in both these fragrances. Another one where I feel like you can't go wrong with either one that you choose, and that is why I chose them both. And it's another case where I firmly believe that this backup will offset my use of the Tom Ford fragrance and ultimately save me buying another bottle in the future. We keep it rolling. Starting in the number 4 spot is the pair of Dior Homme Intense and Kayaan Classic by Alwantanea. Now, Dior Homme Intense needs no introduction. It's one of the greatest fragrances ever made. It's an S-tier fragrance in every man's collection, an absolute masterpiece and one that is definitely in the Fragrance Hall of Fame. So I'm sure people might have reservations when I tell you that this fragrance from Alwantania that can be found sometimes for less than $20 matches it. And it matches it very, very well. Again, as with most of the other fragrances, it's the same note breakdown, same scent profile, powdery, lipsticky, iris, makeup feel, very sweet but masculine. It's just so smooth, and I am so happy that I found this. Bought myself 3 bottles because I hope I never exhaust this bottle and have to buy another one. When Kayaan Classic was launched, it was a hype beast. Very hard to find, very high price. But today the price has come down, but there's still a great demand for it. So if you could find one, add it. Very highly recommended. It matches this one in scent profile and performance. And again, as the GM, you pay your starting quarterback $120 or you pay its backup $20. Your choice. And we're on to the number 3 spot. And if you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me and it really helps this channel to grow. Again, the goal is 2 million. We're just starting out, so we have a ways to go, but everyone counts, so go ahead. So starting at number 3 is the pairing of Le Male Elixir by Jean Paul Gaultier and The Kingdom by Lattafa. Now, a lot of people will be surprised by this because there is another alternative or another clone of Le Male Elixir called Tribal Gold by Dior. That is a good alternative as well, but this, The Kingdom by Lattafa, this is next level stuff. Absolute banger of a fragrance. Le Male Elixir was launched in 2023 and it is a sweet vanillic honey lavender tobacco fragrance. It features top notes of lavender, mint, middle notes of vanilla and benzoin on a base of honey, tonka bean and tobacco. Amazing fragrance. One that I am thrilled and excited, very eager to wear when the weather gets cooler here in New York. It just can't be beat for appeal, and the performance here is outstanding. You're talking 14+ hours, next day on close, and the presentation is just gorgeous. This looks amazing in your collection. Taking a look at the backup, The Kingdom by Lattafa, the presentation is so-so. It's like a hard plastic material with a gold finish. Decent atomizer, but the scent is nearly identical. I don't know how they can do this for this price. Paid about $30 for this. This is not one that is readily available on the market yet, but when you can get to this, make sure you grab a bottle because this is this, plain and simple. $100 versus $30. Choice is yours. Again, you pay your starting quarterback, you pay your backup. Starting in the 2nd spot, we have The Most Wanted by Jasoor and its backup, Ansaam Silver by Lattafa. Now, Jasoor The Most Wanted, this is the Eau de Parfum version. It's a warm, spicy, amber sweet fragrance with caramel. Full note breakdown, top notes of cardamom, middle notes of toffee on a base of amberwood. This is another one that needs very little introduction. It's just simply one of the sexiest men's fragrances ever made. And that's a fact. There's nothing else to it. You put this on, you get work done. It's very sexy, very appealing. Everyone will smell you. You don't wear this when you want to fly under the radar. You wear this, you will get noticed. The backup, Ansaam Silver, was launched in 2022 and it features top notes of bergamot, cardamom, middle notes of divana and lavender on a base of vanilla, amberwood and patchouli. So the note breakdown is a little bit different, but this kind of sits somewhere in the Jasoor line. It's not identical to The Most Wanted Eau de Parfum, but it sits somewhere between the Parfum version and the Eau de Parfum version of The Most Wanted. And that's not a bad place to be, honestly. So you could call it Almost Wanted or Also Wanted, whichever one. But it is a fantastic alternative to The Most Wanted. There's not that many fragrances out there that smells like it. The Most Wanted also kind of resembles the Stronger With You DNA, so this falls right in line with them. And again, as a GM, you have the decision to make. You pay your starting quarterback $80 to $100, or you pay your backup $20 to $30, your choice. The final spot in tonight's video is the pairing of Invictus Victory Elixir and Invicto Elixir by Fragrance World. Again, these are two fragrances with very similar presentation. In terms of color scheme, the shape of the bottles vary, but the color scheme here is very similar, and you will not be very hard pressed to find out what this fragrance is trying to copy. So Invictus Victory Elixir by Paco Rabanne was launched in 2023, and it's a cooler weather fragrance that features top notes of lavender, cardamom, and black pepper, middle notes of incense and patchouli on a base of vanilla and tonka beans. This is a very sweet beast mode projecting fragrance. It lasts and lasts and lasts forever. I really like the presentation. A lot of people find fault with the Victory cup style of the bottle, but I really like it. The atomizer sits on top for those who've never used one, and it sprays like so. Another one, just so strong, so powerful. You don't need more than 2 sprays of this when you go out. The backup, Invicto Victory Elixir, it's kind of like a name tongue twister in both these fragrances, is also a beast mode fragrance. Big performance, big longevity, big complement factor, also suited for colder weather. Both these fragrances kind of share similarities with Le Male Le Parfum. It kind of gives you like almost like a coconut beachy vibe, but the sweetness in both these fragrances is ramped up to like 1,000. So if you like sweet, you're gonna love these. If you don't like sweet, stay away from these. These are very high performance sweet fragrances. So be sure to comment, let me know which of these you have, which of these you hope to get, or if I missed any that you may have that you think are good pairing of OG and wannabe, or starter and backup. So until then, I'll see you in the next one.